In the NBA, one pick can change everything. One draft, high decision can land you a franchise icon or set you back a decade. Some number one overall picks become legends, others became footnotes, and a few became cautionary tales that GMs still lose sleep over. So today, I ranked every single number one overall pick since 2000, from the players who defined a generation to the picks that franchises wish they could take back. Before we start ranking, let me explain the tiers I'm using, because not every number one pick career looks the same. The top tier is S tier, generational. These are players who didn't just live up to the number one pick. They transcended it, MVP, championship, first ballot Hall of Famers, the guys you built statues for. Next is A tier, franchise cornerstones. These players became all NBA level stars. Personal all-stars who carried their team deeper to the playoffs. Maybe not generational, but you can make that pick 100 times out of 100. Then we have B tier, star level player. These guys made multiple all-star teams or consistently high-level stars. Solid number one picks. You aren't disappointed, but you aren't on a parade either. After that is C tier, serviceable starters. These players had real NBA careers. They stuck in the league, maybe started for a few years, contributed to women. Not what you dream of, a number one pick, but non-disaster. Then D tier, below expectations. These are players who had moments or carved out a role, but they fell way short of what a number one pick should deliver. Journeymen, bench pieces, guys you forgot were drafted at its top. And finally, F tier. Complete busts. These picks were disasters. Injuries, bad fit, never developed. Whatever the reason, these are the names that make the front offices cringe, the picks that cost GMs their job. And way too early, this is very self-explanatory, it's way too early to judge this guys. S plus tier, the GOAT conversation. This tier is for the players who didn't just dominate the era. They are the standard by which every other number one pick is measured. Multiple championships, multiple MVPs, longevity that defies logic. There's only one name here, and it's not debatable. And you'll see that at the end of the video. And stay tuned. F minus, catastrophic, worse than a bust. These picks weren't just disappointing, they were franchise-altering disasters. Players who were never NBA-level talent and set their organizations back by years. These are the names that GMs have fired over. This will also be reviewed by the end of the video. With that being said, please make sure to like and subscribe, as let's start ranking every NBA's number one overall pick since 2000. And starting off with Kenyon Martin. Kenyon Martin goes into C tier. Drafted number one overall back in the year 2000, he had a 15-year career, 1 All-Star appearance, 12 points and 3 rebounds a game. Kenyon Martin was never a star, but he was a real NBA player. A tough physical forward who stuck around the league for a decade and a half. For a number one pick, that's underwhelming, but it's not a disaster. Next up, Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown goes into the D tier from one of the most famous busts in NBA history. However, 12 seasons, 6.5 points per game, 7 different teams. He was a face of the world bust. Michael Jordan handpicked him to be the future, and the pressure ate him alive. But 12 years in the NBA is 12 years in the NBA. He is a rotation level big man for a long time. Still a massive disappointment at number one overall. But he's not the complete disaster his reputation suggests. Yao Ming, S tier. As to this one's debatable. Number one pick from the 2002 draft, 8 All-Star appearances, 5 All-NBA teams, a global icon who changed basketball. Yao Ming wasn't just a great number one overall pick, he was a cultural phenom. His career was cut short by foot injuries, but when he played, he was dominant, a Hall of Famer, generational, no debate. LeBron James. Come on, guys. S tier. S tier. Easiest call in the entire list, 4 championships, 4 MVPs, all-time leading scorer in NBA history, 20 plus all-star appearances. LeBron James is not just the best number one pick since 2000, he's the best number one pick ever, and arguably the greatest player to lace him up on the basketball court. Next, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard also goes into the S tier. The number one pick back in the 2004 draft, 3 straight Defensive Player of the Year awards, led the Magic to the 2009 Finals, 8-time All-Star. Dwight Howard was the most dominant center of his era. This physical force was single-handedly anchored top 5 defenses for nearly a decade. Hall of Famer, generational, Andrew Bogut. He goes into the C tier. 14 seasons, 9.5 points, and nearly 9 rebounds per game. 1 All-NBA third-team selection. Bogut was solid, a smart, defensive center who carved out a long career and won the ring with the Warriors in 2015. But from a number one pick, he want more than solid, serviceable, not special. Andrea Bargnani, D tier, 14 points per game for his career. 0 All-Star appearances, 0 All-NBA teams. Drafters drafted a 7-footer who was supposed to revolutionize a position. Instead, they got a one-dimensional shooter who played no defense. He wasn't Kwame level bad, but for a number one pick, Bargnani was a massive letdown. Greg Oden, D tier. This one hurt. 105 games across 7 total seasons. Oden had everything: the size, the skill, the defensive instincts, but his knees never cooperated. He flashed dominance in brief stretches, but we never got to see what he could truly become. Not his fault, still a D. Derrick Rose goes into A tier. Youngest MVP in NBA history, 3 All-Star appearances before the age of 24, and then the ACL tear that changed everything. Rose's prime was stolen by injuries. With that MVP season, he was a phenom the league had never seen at the point guard position. Even with the injury history, this was a home run pick. Blake Griffin also goes into the A tier. 6 All-Stars, 5 All-NBA teams, Rookie of the Year. Blake Griffin was a human highlight reel who evolved into a complete offensive player. The Clippers became relevant because of him. The only thing keeping him from S tier is the lack of deep playoff runs. But as a number one pick, Blake delivered in a big way. John Wall, A tier. From 2013 to 2018, Wall averaged 20 points and 9 assists per game. 5 All-Star appearances, the fastest player in the league with the ball in his hands. Injuries destroyed the back half of his career. He never recovered his efficiency. But at his peak, Wall was a top 3 point guard in the NBA. When healthy, he was absolutely an A-tier number one pick. Kyrie, S tier. 8 All-Stars, an NBA champion, hit one of the most iconic shots of finals history. Kyrie Irving's handle is the best the game has ever seen. The off-the-court job was real, but on the court, resume speaks for itself. A generational shot creator who delivered on the biggest stage. S tier. Anthony Davis, S tier. 9 All-Stars, 4 All-NBA first teams, an NBA champion. 1 healthy. Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the world, a two-way force who can drop 40 and block 5 shots in the same game. The Lakers don't win the 2020 title without him. A future Hall of Famer, S tier, no question. Anthony Bennett, F tier. 4.5 points per game, shot 39% from the field, started 4 games, traded after 1 season, out the league by just the age of 24. Anthony Bennett is the worst number one pick in NBA history. No caveats, no injuries to blame, just a player who was never close to the NBA level. Wiggins, we're gonna put Wiggins in B tier. Wiggins is a story of 2 careers. In Minnesota, he was a guy who never became the guy. Maple Jordan was supposed to be a franchise cornerstone, and instead he became synonymous with inefficiency and unrealized potential. The talent was always obvious, the motor wasn't. Then the Warriors said, traded mid-season in 2020, Wiggins completely reinvented himself as a two-way wing who didn't need to become the alpha. And in 2022, he was second best player on the championship team. 26 points in Game 5 of the Finals. Lockdown defense on Tatum. The guy Minnesota gave up became an essential to a dynasty's 4th ring. B tier because Minnesota dragged him down, but that Golden State art. That's a redemption story most number one picks never get. Cat, I'm debating between B or A tier. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Fresh off of winning a chip, 4 All-Stars, 2 NBA third teams, one of the best shooting big men in history. 50% from the field, 40% from 3 for his career. Cat's offensive talent is an eye roll. Just won a ring, star-level player. Ben Simmons, C tier. From 2018 to 2021, Simmons averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 All-Stars, 2 defensive first teams, and then the pass. That open layup against Atlanta broke something in him, and combined with a refusal to shoot anywhere outside the paint and mountain injuries, his career spiraled. A generational defensive talent whose offensive limitations made him unplayable. C tier. Markelle Fultz, D tier. 7.5 points for his career. The skills we saw in his 1 year at Washington, the fluid athleticism, the pull-up jumper, the creative finisher, all disappeared due to biotic outlet syndrome. Fultz has carved out a journeyman career, which, given how catastrophic low early, is almost admirable, but as a number 1 pick, never came close to the player he was. D tier. DeAndre Ayton, C tier. 16 points of 10 rebounds for his career, 1 finals run with the Suns in 2021. Ayton has the physical tools of a Dominic Day, yet never played with consistent force. He's a starting caliber center, just not the franchise anchor you expect at number 1 overall. Zion Williamson, B tier. When he plays, Zion is a top 15 player in the world. 2 All-Star appearances, career averages over 20 points per game, 59% shooting, ridiculous efficiency. The problem, he can't stay on the floor. Andrews had defined his career so far. If he can string together healthy seasons, he could jump into the A tier. For now, B tier. Anthony Edwards, S tier. No doubt about it. Ant is him. Multiple All-Stars, led the Timberwolves to the Western Conference Finals at the age of 22. A two-way star with charisma, confidence, and the game to back it up. He's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. S tier and rising. Cade. Cade goes into the A tier, borderline S tier. Cade is a franchise savior Detroit prayed for. The Pistons were irrelevant. Bottom of the league, no identity, no hope, and Cade walked in and changed everything. 23.9 points, 9.9 assists, second in the entire NBA, by the way. He's the engine of a team that nobody took seriously, and that's now a legitimate Eastern Conference threat. So why A tier, not S tier? Because S tier guys have the hardware, MVPs, rings, deep playoff runs. Cade's knocking on that door. If Detroit makes a conference finals and he sustains his production, he's in. But right now, he's the best player in A tier on this list, and the gap between him and S is razor thin. Paolo goes into the B tier. Rookie of the Year, an All-Star in year 2, Paolo's a 6'10" offensive hub with guard seals and a polished scoring package. He's trending towards A tier quickly. The Magic have their guy. His problem is his inconsistencies. For now, B tier with an arrow pointing straight up. Victor. Do I even need to say much? S tier. Already a superstar, defensive player of the year, categorizes rookie. A 7'5" alien who blocks shots, handles the ball, and hits step-back threes. Wembanyama was the most hyped prospect since LeBron, and somehow he's already exceeding his expectations. S tier, and it might not even be high enough. Zachary, we should say I'm going to put him into too early category. There's certainly an argument to put him into E tier, specifically off this past season. But his rookie year, he had 12.6 points, up 45% and 35% shooting splits. Decent numbers for a 3-and-D prospect. But recently, Ricochet has fallen out of Atlanta's rotation completely. Still early to judge, but the early signs are mixed at best. Cooper Flag. I'm putting him straight into A tier. Cooper Flag just finished his rookie season. I'm already fighting the urge to put him in S tier. 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Rookie of the Year on a Dallas team that now has its franchise pillar for the next decade. Slag is a complete package, two-way dominance, but as for IQ you can't teach. The hype was deafening coming out of Duke, and somehow he's exceeded it. The only reason he's on S tier right now is the sample size. One season isn't enough for that company, but let's be honest, this is an S tier player wearing an A tier label for now. Check back in 2 years. And now let's move on to a S plus and F minus category. And it's pretty obvious. LeBron James is an S plus tier. There are S tier number one picks, and then there's LeBron James. 4 championships across 3 different franchises. And he was Finals MVP on all 4. 4 regular season MVPs, the NBA's all-time leading scorer. 20-plus All-Star appearances at counting. LeBron didn't just live up to the number one pick. He's obliterated every expectation anyone has ever set for him. Here's what separates LeBron from every other name on this list. Longevity. Dwight peaked for about 7 years. Derrick Rose's prime was stolen after 4. Kyrie and AD had stretches of brilliance, but also stretches of availability issues. LeBron, he was an All-NBA player at 21, and he was an All-NBA player at 39. He's been elite for 2 decades. That shouldn't be possible. He turned the Cavs into a championship franchise. He delivered the Lakers their first title in a decade. He went to Miami and traded dynasty in 48 hours. Everywhere he has gone, the franchise he has reached the mountaintop. There are generational players, and then there's the GOAT debate with Michael Jordan. That's S plus tier. That's LeBron. And we're moving Anthony Bennett, who was already in the F tier alone, down to the F minus tier. 4.5 points per game, shot 39% from the field, started 4 games his entire career, choked after 1 season, out the league by the age of 24. Anthony Bennett is the worst number 1 pick in NBA history, and it's not even close. This wasn't a Greg Oden situation, where injuries destroyed a player's promising career. The Cavs just picked a player who was never an NBA-level talent, not even rotation talent, not even end-of-the-bench level. He's the pick that forces GM to lose sleep the night before the draft. The name that gets brought up every time a top prospect has question marks. F minus tier exists because Anthony Bennett made it necessary. And there we have it. That is every number 1 pick since 2000 ranked. Let me know what you agree with. Comment down below. Please make sure to like, comment, share. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.